What's going on, guys? Today we're gonna react to a video from Pearl. She be asking, should Christian women obey their husbands? Before we start, I wanna give credit to the content creator. Shout out to Pearl and going out there asking these questions because it's very controversial nowadays, especially with the word obey. Because words nowadays people change their meaning. They don't like what it sounds like, and they just it's crazy what words nowadays trigger people, and especially Christian church, because I think Christian church have let down men nowadays. Christian church are weak, dependent to women, and um, they don't uphold what the word is. I'm not saying I'm a religious guy, but they seriously have laid down men nowadays, and there's a lot of weak men in the church. So why don't we get into this video?
Yeah, but if women's jobs disappeared tomorrow, society would function fine. It would
I don't know if I
literally.
agree with that at all.
I don't
Of course, isn't one I agree.
feel like we should, that women should have to obey anybody.
Or do you want to answer
They don't have to obey nobody, of course, but they're bosses.
the question?
Let me
Because
go
are you
verify.
the are you
I'm
the pastor?
here,
Oh, that's
yeah.
you, the perfect person to talk to.
Yeah, let me come out a little bit. Let me make sure everything is taken care of inside.
Yeah,
and all
okay.
that, okay.
That'd be great.
So yeah,
He didn't come back. I want to see this one. Let's continue.
What's up, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, we are asking the Baptists what they believe about obedience. So should
Again, I want to give credit to Pearl. This is her video. If you guys like this video, I'm gonna put it in the description below. Go watch the whole thing, and like her video. Go follow her. Let's keep going.
Christian women obey their husbands? Let's see what the Baptists have to say. Let's get started. Guys, if you have a second, we want to do events in your city, but we need your names, phone numbers, and emails in order to alert you when we're in a city near you. So make sure you click the link in the description and fill out the form to sign up for our events. Hey, how's it going?
Here comes the pastor.
I'm Pearl.
Pearl.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Jordan. Nice to meet you.
So we go to different churches trying to figure out what they believe about obedience, because the purpose is just to figure out what people believe, no right or wrong answers.
Yeah.
And so we just go to different churches on Sunday and ask.
Okay.
So
And
I'd
now,
love
do you
to get
stay
you-
set up the whole time, or how are you?
Yeah, we just stay from like usually 10 to 12, 1.
Okay. And so, I mean, I don't mind talking to you, but it feels a hair kind of gotcha. It feels like what we're trying to do a little
Okay.
bit. And so I would prefer, just as it, we have a lot of new people coming right now, that we don't just kind of try to send them away or try to force them into something in that way.
Oh yeah, we don't force anybody. First Amendment does protect freedom of speech, so we can't do
Sure.
this on public property.
Okay.
but-
This would be private property, though.
Not the
Sure.
sidewalk.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
sidewalk is public. It's a
Okay.
one-party consent state in Texas.
Yeah.
So it's our First Amendment.
Okay.
Why is the church always trying to like not have these conversations? They don't want to have these hard conversations, and I don't know why. Like, especially how, like I said before, like the churches have become weak, really.
But
Yeah.
you see how we're already trying to be confrontational, where I was willing to talk with you, but now
Yeah.
we're wanting to argue with
No,
me
I'm
about
not
it.
trying to argue with you. I'm
Okay.
just letting you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
could we find a place that maybe is a little more appropriate for where we are? Because this is where, if you can see the birds coming in, we're going to have a lot of people trying to walk through there. Can we maybe step down there where those yellow and red signs are?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, let's just move down there today, and anybody that wants to stop with you is welcome to.
Okay. Or do you want to answer the question?
Let me
Because
go
are you
verify.
the
I'm
pastor?
pastor here,
Oh, that's
yeah.
you, the perfect person
yeah,
to talk to.
Yeah, let me come out a little bit. Let me make sure everything is taken care of inside.
Yeah,
and all
okay.
that, okay.
That'd be great.
So yeah.
So, do you believe?
And like at the beginning of the video, she said he never came back. Of course, he never comes back. The leader of the church didn't come back to at least have a talk about it. But again, weak churches nowadays.
That Christian women should obey their husbands? If yes or no, tell us why or why not.
Depends entirely what you mean by obey,
Okay?
because that's completely the only.
Obey. The word obey triggers people. People don't like obey. And this is church people going to church, reading the word, the Bible, and the word obeys right there, but they change the meaning. And I don't get it. Let's continue.
We're doing any work in that sentence.
Okay.
So what do you mean by obey?
To listen to, submit to, you obey your boss. If your boss tells you to do something, you do it.
Interesting. I'm going to give you a real answer, but why is that the question you want to ask?
Because I want to know the answer.
Okay, that's fair. I think it's really easy to make it into a kind of trick question or a got you moment.
Okay.
Do I think there is a legal or moral obligation for a Christian woman to listen to what her husband says on the mere pure merit of he's her husband? No.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So we would not say that there is any kind of requirement or expectation for a Christian woman to obey her husband just raw. It would depend on the context of what is being asked.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Well, okay,
so if he's
assuming
asking her to do something that is harmful to herself or something that goes against what she thinks is a faithful following of God, she does not have an obligation to follow that.
why is that the first place your mind goes? Like he's going to ask her something immoral.
I agree on that part. That everybody, when they hear obey, they go to the worst scenario possible. Obey. Kind of like, yeah, you telling me you think I'm a dog or something to you know what I mean, guys? So like it's something like that.
Is that common for men to even do that?
Not at all, but
Yeah.
that's kind of what's set up by the question. Because if the question is, should Christian women obey their husbands, then the question is, it's kind of begging that question of, because the thing you think about it like this: if my wife says, "Hey, can you take out the trash, please?" It's, maybe I'm playing with the words a little bit, but it is an act of then obedience for me to go say, absolutely, I'll take out the trash. If I ask my wife, hey, would you mind running a load of laundry while you're home today? She says, yes, I'm happy to do that. And so obviously there's still either one of us is choosing to respond to that request, but it also is a form of obedience. Because one of the famous Bible verses that talks about the marital relationship, right after it describes the role of a man and a woman, before that it says submit to each other. So it's not so black and white as one obeys the other always without question.
Right, but with the two people, there's bound to be disagreements, and
For sure.
somebody's got to have the final say. I use Trump and Vance as an example. So if Vance came in and started nagging Trump about chores,
There is no more head of the household anymore. Well, there is some out there. I'm not saying all, not all. But it seems like even at church, there's no more head of the household no more. Everything is equal this, equal that. But let's continue.
I think Trump would be kind of pissed,
I would
right?
love if that happened.
Oh, yeah,
That'd
but
be funny.
yeah. So in a household, is it really a woman's place to? She would never tell her boss what to do. Why is it okay for her to tell her husband what to do?
Because it's not the same type of relationship at all. Like the relationship is based first on mutual love and respect for each other. That's flowing from our love for God and the love He's shown us. So that's where the relationship is founded on. Versus I wouldn't say that my boss and I's first relationship is on mutual love and respect. There's mutual respect for sure, and there is mutual love.
What's more important to men, love or respect?
Probably depends on the guy, right? In terms of like what is
Respect, guy. Come on. Even this guy, he doesn't know. Like, come on. We want the respect more than the love. But again, like I say, weak church.
personally more impactful for him. For me, I would say I would lean more towards the love side.
The love side. So that tells you everything. Come on, guy.
Yeah, but I think it would depend on who you would ask.
So is it a woman's role to decide if her husband's following God or not?
I mean, to an extent, yes. I mean, not
To an extent, I thought it was God, man, woman, and children. So he's saying to an extent. What? That's what I'm saying. What's going on with church nowadays? But hey, everybody's not a Christian, so this is not for everybody.
to like, not as if there's no other person, even a person's spouse, can like fully know what's going on in someone's heart and mind, right? So not to an 100% extent, but absolutely one part of the roles of spouses is for us to help each other follow God as faithfully as we can. So for my wife to say, hey, I've noticed that you haven't been reading the Bible as consistently, or you haven't been praying, you haven't been leading us to pray as consistently. Like that is, and to answer your question fully, like yeah, in that sense, she is absolutely not deciding if I'm following God at all, but how faithfully I'm doing so and helping me to follow more faithfully.
Okay, but isn't that giving like bosses more authority over your wife than their like? In that case, like, don't the women respect their bosses more than their husbands?
Sorry, I get so distracted. The ADHD is too
It's
powerful.
okay. It's hot out. It's hot out.
Again, it's not. I don't know. The way that I look at the world is not like this battle of who has more authority over who. You know.
But it's realistic, right? Somebody. There's a reason we have phrases like "Who wears the pants."
Yeah, for sure. And again, I mean.
Happy wife, happy life. That's what they say out there.
Oh, that's around the back side of the building, if you're looking for them. But yes, I guess if you want to say like, but again, by the same token, does the wife care more about her job than her husband because she spends more of her time at work than at home most days if she works and if they both work? You know what I mean? So like, sure, you can play the game of, oh, this person, quote, has more authority over you than this person. But again, if the marriage is based on mutual love and respect and they're both trying to faithfully follow God as well as they can, that's just not going to be an issue.
It's going to be perfect. There's never going to be an issue.
No, at all. Of course, there's still going to be problems. But going back to what you said earlier, I never answered. What if there's disagreement? Who decides? I'm very young. My wife and I have only been married for 2 years. I've known so many Christian couples when both are doing their best to follow God in a moment and they're willing to take advice from outside the marriage as well from other faithful Christians. I've never heard of a single situation where a couple has not been able to come to an agreement.
Okay, so actually that leads me to my next question. So do you do counseling then?
Every once in a while.
What would you advise a woman to do if her husband and you disagree?
If her husband and me disagree?
Yeah,
or her
so
husband and
let's say there's a couple, they're getting counseling from the pastor.
Yeah.
And the pastor, you say one thing, the husband vehemently disagrees with you. And it's not clear cut, it's not a clear cut.
Let's see what kind of answers he's gonna get. He's gonna say.
Biblical answer, right? But maybe it's parenting style. The pastor says he's too strict. The husband says I'm not too strict. Something like that. That's not a black and white answer.
Yeah.
Who would you advise the woman to listen to?
Are they both members of a church, or
Yeah, they're
people
both.
that are just off the street?
No, they're
I
both
don't know.
members of your church here, and he goes to the church.
Yeah.
He just says, no two men always agree on everything, right? Yeah, ever in life, I've never met two.
100%.
So if they're going to be here 20, 30 years, you know, people are going to want to know who should the wife listen to, you, the pastor, or the husband?
Absolutely. So if they're both church members, that's going to create a whole different situation. That's why I asked. I'll answer both situations. If they're both church members, then, and I want to, you say this very carefully, and I'll explain myself, then they're both are, quote, under the authority of that church and its leadership. So in that scenario, it's less of an issue of, and that doesn't mean we tell them how to parent. It doesn't mean that we say, you give this money, you give this money. It's not like that at all, especially our denomination. But what it does mean is there is a level of the church leadership has the authority to speak into lives, especially when people are asking for that advice and for that, asking to receive comments on that. And if it comes down to a situation where the husband says, you know, I'm not doing that, screw that, I'm not listening, then at some point you have to make a choice of, then my counsel to the wife would be, at some point you have to make a choice of, is this a hill you're willing to die on? Is it something that's that important to you where you have to continue this? Or can you choose, or are you, is it something that we can not give up on, but lessen our stance on to maintain peace and unity in the home?
Okay.
And same thing to a husband if his wife is adamant about homeschool or adamant about something else.
But end of the day, who does she listen
What an answer. What an answer.
to? Pastor, husband. There's no middle ground. She's got to pick one.
She has to make a choice that leads to the most peace and unity in her life. And so if that means that if it comes down to it and husband won't listen, we're going to continue to work on that because there's probably something in his heart that he's struggling with. So we're going to continue to work on that. But in the meantime, it would come down to the unity and peace in the home rather than with a church leadership.
Okay, so
The unity and peace at home. Come on. Come on. Guys want peace. Most of the guys, I mean, I'm not saying all, but most guys want peace. So it's not like we bring in war or drama at home or anything like that. We want peace. I mean, I don't think that should be a big deal.
you would say husband.
Yeah,
Okay. How do you guys feel about female-led Bible studies here and women in leadership?
we love it. So we
love that. We love it.
have multiple female-led Bible studies. We have women teach our Sunday school classes. We
I'm not saying me. I'm just kind of, you know what I mean. I'm just making fun of this video right here. So, but you heard from his voice, from his mouth. We love it.
have every expression of leadership that we have there is filled by men and women.
Isn't that against the church's teachings on women not being able to teach? Isn't that, and this is a disagreement. Some churches say yes, some say
Yeah.
no.
So
Yeah.
the only, okay,
Guys, this is your Christian church. I'm telling you.
that the interpretation of that verse is extremely fraught, and I don't have time for it because
It's fraud. It's fraud. And now he's looking at the time because he wants to run. But let's see what continues on this.
our service is about to start.
Okay.
But our stance as our church comes down to, if it is not expressly prohibited for women to do something clearly in Scripture, we lose out if we do not involve them in that, because we lose out on their gifts and talents. So the only scenario where we restrict anyone from serving in any type of way or leading in any type of way is where we feel the Bible is extremely unquestionably clear, and we do not feel that it is extremely unquestionably clear on women teaching.
What is the misinterpretation of the, like, what is the way that people think it's interpreted, and how is it actually interpreted?
The most common interpretation on the more conservative theological side, which we are definitely on, but the most common one on our side is women should not be speaking in front of any mixed gender gathering of adults.
Okay.
We really feel that we really only limit we only limit what women can serve and lead in. And it's not only women, it's also we only use what we call qualified men in this role, which is they fulfill the category set out in the scripture, is for things that what the Bible calls elder roles. So anything that an elder, which would be the highest leadership position in the church, would do, we believe that the Bible teaches that that is only for qualified men. So that excludes the majority of men and women from that leadership role.
So it's just
anything
like
that
the high.
leadership
It's
role
just
would
the
have to do-
highest leadership
Yes.
role here, but the lower ones the women can do. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
And less qualified
It's less
men.
about lower. It's not about lower and just about differently. So like when the apostles in the beginning of the early church, they form the deacons. It's not the deacons are less important. It's the deacons are for this specific role. We have this specific role. So the roles that are specific to being an elder are the only then things that are set apart. But then again, it's more about being qualified as an elder and less about gender. Because the biggest problem I think we have in the church is unqualified men in the elder role, not women trying to.
Yeah, I mean, there's always gonna be unqualified guys. They say that's the problem, but let's continue.
Get into the elder role. That's not my perception at all.
You sure?
Yes, 100%.
The women are the ones bringing the gay flags in church.
That is a fact. That is a fact. I've seen so many churches out here with gay flag. Nothing wrong against. I'm not against anything, but that I believe that doesn't belong to the church.
Not in our church.
I'm not saying it's your church, but
Yeah.
just in general. That's not men.
Well, again, you have to.
I do these interviews all the time. If it's
Yeah.
an all-female congregation, it's almost guaranteed gay flags.
Really? Where?
The last one was London.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, that's true. Is like, for me, you have to separate out mainline Protestant denominations.
Which one was the one in London? What denomination was
Yeah. What
it?
denomination was that?
What? Methodist.
Yeah.
It
So
was
you have to
Methodist.
separate out mainline Protestants. So Methodists, a lot of your Presbyterians. But
One thing about the churches and the religions, so many domination. I can't say the word, guys. Excuse my English. Domination. Oh man, let's continue.
because they've completely given up on the majority of clear Bible teaching that the church has believed for 2,000 years. So, again, it comes down. I would have to meet with them individually to see what they believe. But a lot of the scenarios, those people aren't going to meet what the Bible says a Christian is anyway. So they're welcome to claim it. It's America. It's a free country.
Yeah.
But if you claim Christianity and then don't match up with what the Bible says a Christian is, and that's I can't say for anybody else whether they're saved or
But-
not, but they have to deal with that.
How is gay marriage any different than saying a man and a woman has equal authority in a relationship?
It's extremely different. Because again,
Because you're saying they're like doing the same roles essentially. They have
No.
equal authority.
no, not at all. Not here, at least.
I'm not saying here, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand what your view on
Yeah.
that is.
So again, there is a to the core of the question. Yes, there is an authority difference, and there is a role difference, 100%, without question.
Could you
That's
talk
the-
more about what it is?
Sure. So we think that the Bible is only clear that there is an authority and role difference in the church and in the home.
I thought he got to go, but he's still on the interview. Wow, let's keep going.
Outside of those two places, the Bible has nothing to say about role or authority differences. In the church, again, it comes down to, we think that the Bible is clear that for the role of elder and for the roles that the elders carry out, there is only, hey Doc, good morning. There is only, the only people that are eligible for that role are qualified men. So that does exclude women. And so the roles and the authority that comes with that is excluded. And then same thing in the home, there is an authority difference and there is a role difference.
Okay. Do you think men and women are equal?
Absolutely. Mating.
Boom. There you go. There you guys have it.
God's image, worthy of the same respect, dignity, and love.
Then
When it comes to that, yeah, but I don't think so. Men and women are equal. That's my opinion. Okay, don't sacrifice me in the comments or anything. So calm down, guys.
Why can't women and men do the same things?
Because equal in worth, dignity, and love is not the same as equal in role. My child, if I have a child, he's equal in worth, dignity, and love to me, but his role is not
Well, yeah, come on.
the same in the home. It does not diminish who that child is as a person in the slightest.
Do you believe in the natural order of the world? God, men, women, children?
Ooh, that depends what you mean by natural order of the world, because you know.
Everything depends nowadays. Everything depends. Yeah, there's some things that depends. Yeah, depends this, depends on that. But like, I think there's some things that they just straight up makes common sense. But let's see what his answer is gonna be.
Remember, I said we think the Bible is only clear about differences of authority and role in the church and the home,
Okay.
not in a broader society.
But, just looking around, men are building everything, inventing, doing everything pretty much.
Well,
Like, what are women really doing in society?
it's a lot nowadays.
Like what?
My wife works in finance, managing and investing a ton of money, and making money for that helps society, I believe.
Yeah, but if women's jobs disappeared tomorrow, society would function fine. It would
I don't know
literally.
if I agree with that at all.
It's not.
He doesn't agree with that. I personally think, yeah, because we are, what's that word I'm looking for? Like, we as men, we can organize each other and designate each individual to their potential. If you're good at something, okay, you go build this. You're good at this, you go build that. But when it comes to women, like, they want to be communitarian, and that is not a good thing, especially when it comes to keeping society going, because every hierarchy, there's a hierarchy on things, and women don't believe in that. And hey, if you disagree, put it in the comment below, but don't crucify me about this. That's just my personal opinion, okay?
Whether you agree or disagree, it's simply like true, because if you look at the infrastructure
Exactly. It's just true. Like, come on, guy.
jobs, men do pretty much all of them.
If you say, and saying the world would function fine is disingenuous, because nursing would collapse overnight, education would collapse overnight. So maybe the world.
That's disingenuous that you say it. That is not true. Come on, guy.
Would
People
function
are.
in the sense
I'm
of,
from
like,
Chicago. People are graduating high school and they can't read.
I understand this,
So
but
it's not like-
I understand, but
Yeah.
like to say that is like, sure, maybe the power would be on, but the society would collapse.
This guy.
You don't think men could learn to teach?
Absolutely, they could, but they're not right now. And you're saying that it would be fine.
They're not, because it's not a good paying job. And when you get into the educational system, most of the teachers are women. It's like either you follow the woke agenda or you don't. And most of the guys aren't with that. And especially the pay. Like, guys want high paying jobs. And being a teacher is not. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some male teachers out there, not knocking you guys, not knocking you, do your thing. And if you're passionate about it, do your thing. But most guys, they just go for the high paying jobs.
Well,
We would not be able to fill the gap in those, and at least those two
But
fields.
literacy rates were higher when men were mostly teachers. So actually,
Yeah.
since women have taken over the industry, education's actually gone downhill.
That's
That's another stat that I learned recently. That when men were teachers, the literature efficiency was higher than it is now. So what's going on now, which is dominated by women? What?
not because I would strongly disagree with that being because it is women teaching instead of men. Because we also believe there's equal competency between men and women.
You think the
I'm not saying there's no female teachers that can teach. Of course, there's some out there. Not all.
Fully competent?
And as a general rule,
Well, then why haven't women invented anything?
women have invented plenty of things.
No, they haven't. It's just not true. Like, men have invented, like 90+% of the world's inventions were men.
Yeah, because for 90% of human history, the women have been exclusively mothers and homemakers.
Not
I think he drink the Kool-Aid.
necessarily. The last 100 years, though. Still.
For 90% of human history, the last 100
Right, but I'm
years.
saying the last 100 years, women have had the option if they want to invent things, but we just can't do it. Even with all the scholarships.
100
like
years
even,
is still a stretch, too, because
Really?
realistically,
that's
100
my
years
that's my
ago-
entire lifetime. I graduated with people that invented things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's like that's a whole lifetime to do it.
yeah.
You gotta go?
Yeah, I gotta go.
Okay, well, have a good mass.
Yeah,
Thanks for doing it. I appreciate it.
yeah, absolutely.
One thing, guys, we gotta do better too. We can't let ourselves get to that size either. Guys, come on. Look at the size of the guy.
We do a channel around the word obedience, and
Let's
we
see
want to
what-
know
let's-
what you guys believe here.
Let's see what this lady had to say.
If Christian women should or shouldn't obey their husbands. No right or wrong answers. Just tell us why or why not.
I feel like the word obey can be taken
Here we go. The word obey.
in a lot of different ways. I think as a Christian woman, God does put the husband, as the leader of the house. I know for me personally, I wouldn't say I obey my husband. I do
Of course you don't. You wouldn't say that. Of course you wouldn't say that. Come on.
submit to him just because that's what the Bible tells me to do. But as far as my marriage personally, I mean, we're very much on equal footing. So
Equal footing, guys. Equal footing. And they wonder why young men, guys nowadays aren't going to church anymore.
How long have you been married?
I have been married 26 years.
And what would be your advice to women when it comes to obedience in marriage and submitting to their husband? How can they do it?
I feel like you have to put God at the center of your marriage, of your household. And I feel like if you do that, then everything else just falls into place. Communication is key. Prayer is key. I pray with my spouse every day. We read the Bible every day. I just feel like if God is at the center, then
I feel like
it becomes easier to submit. Because when you first get married, it was very difficult.
What were some of the difficulties in early marriage?
As far as the
Submission, obedience.
I mean, I don't know. Like,
I don't want to listen to him. Sorry, guys.
just agreeing on like finances, agreeing on, how you're going to raise your children. So I feel like a lot of it is just respect. He respects my values, my opinions. I respect his. But the submission, I think, gets easier the longer you do stay married.
So if the pastor and your husband disagree, who would you hypothetically listen to? If the pastor has one
Oh,
opinion,
my husband
your
for sure.
husband, yeah.
My husband for
Bing. One good answer right there.
sure. Because I don't have a, covenant of marriage with the pastor. I have a covenant of marriage with my husband.
So do you believe that Christian women should obey their husbands? Why or why not? And tell us your opinion.
I don't really know.
That's a cool software right there. They blur out the kid. If I ever do street interviews, I need something like that. Blur out the kid right there. That's cool. That's cool.
I don't really know how to answer this. I don't feel like we should, that women should have to obey anybody, no matter what.
You don't have to obey anybody. Anybody.
If they're their husband, or I just feel like we should be asking
Feel like.
or believing, trusting in God. So if your husband asks you to do something that you feel like is against God, that you wouldn't obey them.
So, assuming that he's following God, would you then obey him?
I would ask, I don't know. It's hard for me to answer that. I don't know. That's a very big conflict.
Do you believe, because we go to a lot of different churches and they have different beliefs. So, some churches think
Oops, the kid appeared. But anyways, let's continue.
maybe it's like a misinterpretation of those Bible verses. Others, they think it's not in there. So what are your beliefs around like submitting and gender relations?
I just feel like, times have changed, and we probably should just not read so much into that portion, like just trying to nitpick it. But we do, like women, equal rights. We should be able to have the ability to think for ourselves, but to try to also, put your trust in God, not just your husband. So you're going to be.
So what's the point of getting married then if you're not gonna trust your husband? What's the point? Like, come on, like you have to have some type of trust in your husband. He's the leader of the house. He's the head of the house. Come on. So you're not gonna trust your husband? And they wonder why guys don't want to get married anymore too.
So what do you think about, so when women are employed, they listen to their bosses and in essence do have to submit to them to some degree. Why is it that bosses get more submission and obedience than husbands?
Because it's not the same. It's not the same scenario. It's not the same relationship. Watch. Let's continue.
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that one.
Yeah, it's okay. If you don't know, you could just say you don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, she says for history, but
For history?
Yeah.
She's so
For me,
cute.
I'm a teacher, so my bosses are women. So to me, that's like a really big difference.
Yeah, but I think it's more the concept, like I used to work in sales, and if my boss said, there would be a disagreement between calling and door-to-door. I liked door-to-door, he liked calls, and it didn't matter, I had to do the calls, right? It didn't matter what I thought because I was his subordinate. So in essence, like somebody that gives us a paycheck gets more respect a lot of times than our boyfriends or husbands. And I guess what's your thoughts on that? Do you think that's right? Wrong? There's no right or wrong. It's just like different opinions. Some people like more egalitarian. Some people don't.
I guess I'm more of a free thinker, so it's hard for me to shed light in that area. But I think that I kind of go to the beat of my own drum. So I don't really submit, I think, to my husband or to my bosses. I kind of figure out how to do it.
You get to tell them no, your bosses? So if they say teach.
Wow. Hey, I want that kind of job where I can tell my boss, no.
The kids this way. You get to say, I'm doing it my way.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot more authority than most people get at their jobs.
Right? It's good to have flexibility, yeah.
Okay, so what do you guys think about female-led Bible studies? Are those okay here?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. What about females in
Yeah.
leadership? Is that okay or not okay?
It should be, yeah. It is okay.
It is okay?
Yeah.
What do you go to church for?
A connection, not just to God, but to other people. My daughter, for her to see what it's like besides just out there in the world.
Would you be okay with a female pastor? Like being the head of the church, you'd be all right with that? Okay.
Well, so that's all for that video today that we're gonna react. It was a long video. Guys, don't add me in the comments. Come on, man. So I want to grow this channel. We're gonna react to more videos. We're gonna see what I can do. Excuse my English, it's bad, but here. We're making reactions, commentaries, and everything. Giving credit to Pearl and her video. Shout out to her and for doing these kind of street interviews and bringing controversial questions to the church like this, because like I said before, Christian church have become weak, and that's one of the reasons why most men don't want to go to church nowadays. And shout out to her and her channel. But yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next video.